Good afternoon, Wildcat fans. Sorry for the late start here. Just started about a minute and a half ago, and unfortunately missed a power play goal by Preston Skoog, fed from Willie Levine, with at least the primary assist. And that's a second one. Sankey to Eddie. Going up 2-0 early in the first period here. At least we caught one of them. Lakers, last time we faced them during this conference game, got the best of this JV squad. Eric Kerner and crew hoping to turn things around, and so far they are in the right direction. Thomas has that one at the red line, trying to feed that up for Strom. Strom pressures from behind, and Thomas will pick it right back up at the red line. Feed it up the boards, recovered there by Prior Lake. Thomas applies pressure, Groutman comes in, he gets shoved down. Thomas sends that up, just tipped out by Strom. Interference call on number 6, Max Gillespie. Penalty kill here for the Wildcats. That one sent all the way down. Lakers able to clear that on this penalty kill. 15 seconds left, or 15 seconds burned. They bring that in onside, back to the point. Skate it up the blue line, not able to progress it. Goes around one, and that one almost ends up on the top of the scoreboard as the puck leaves the ring. 1 minute and 30 seconds left in the penalty kill for the Cats. Both goals so far coming on a power play. Beckwith drops that down all the way around to Urich. Urich gets pushed into the boards. Center tipped up there by Beckwith. Riley with good forecheck. Lakers evades one. Tips it in. Urich in the corner. Sends that around D to D for Razinen. Razinen not able to get it off the boards. Lakers send it back up to the point, but intercepted. Urich splits the D. Urich on, shot coming, and nice save there by the netminders. He loses an edge, regains strength, but nice rush by Urich. Thomas able to feed up the boards and send it down for a clear. 43 seconds left on the penalty kill. Levine, Eddie, Skoog, and Thomas on the ice. That one goes all the way down, and that will be an icing against the Lakers. Lakers in blue, left to right this period. Wildcats in their white, green, and blue, right to left on your screen. Puck's back down. That one goes out. Levine corralled that for a second. Rush there. Levine pushes his man off the puck, and Thomas picks it up again, sends it all the way down, gets blocked, not all the way down. Prior Lake back to the boards, stops short, gets it cross ice to the top of the circles. Shot deflected into the corner by Kerner. Kerner's corner. Out the board, sent behind the net. Levine rushing there. Skoog comes in to help as well behind the net for the Lakers. Thomas, Levine at the corner, able to poke that away. Lakers send that top of the circle, shot wide, deflected again into Kerner's corner. That blocker side favored. Levine digs that out, goes all the way around. Full strength, both teams. That one gets lost. Levine able to send that one down. Icing waved off. Questionable. Scoot comes it down for a second. Lakers take that back in onside. Drop pass. Shot right into the leather. Eric Kerner, number 35. 9:46 left in the first period. Shots are 3-2 in favor of the Lakers, trying to capitalize off that latest but unsuccessful power play. Ryan Groutman at the draw, number 40, gets that poked back up, and glove save again by Kerner. Poked down, Riley's able to take control of this one, takes it behind his own net. Lakers able to recover but not do much else with it. Groutman gets in the way and Strom's able to get it back into the neutral zone. Riley was in a foot race there. That one goes all the way across. Stretch pass for the Lakers. Shot, rebound, gets deflected aside by Silgen with a nice defensive effort in front of the net. Lakers almost had that one stripped away by Silgen. Silgen now gets that caught on his feet and then poked out again by Riley, who's out with Strom. Feed over to Strom, settles it down, loose out in front with a beautiful save. Goalie had that tracked really well. Lakers send that across, do not receive, so icing is the call again. Nice offensive opportunity there by Riley, fed over to Strom, batted out of the air. Solid chance for your Wildcats. Four shots on net to 3 for the Lakers. That one's back down into the corner. Stretch goes. Urick not able to get the bobble there. Schmidt back to Thomas. Had trouble with it. Sent it back up to the point. Nice backhand to Schmidt to Beckwith. Urick enters the zone as well. Beckwith keeps it to the outside. Has to go retrieve behind the net himself. Backhands it, intercepted there by the Lakers. Backhanded back out to the boards. Lakers able to get it back up to the point, but not out. Beckwith kept that one in. Solid play there by Beckwith. Urick leaves it for Schmidt. Schmidt's got Beckwith out front, not able to get the pass off, loses his stick. And that one will get set down as Thomas and Gillespie will defend. Lakers bring it to the middle, lose the handle. And that one goes to the top of the point. Knocked down there by Beckwith, and Schmidt the other way with Urick, 3-on-2. Gillespie takes it to the outside, shot low. Looked like that one was going in, but tipped behind the net. Beckwith keeps it in at the point, sends it all the way around for Schmidt. Schmidt has Gillespie at the point. Schmidt back to Gillespie. Gillespie shot back deep into the corner for Beckwith. Beckwith will be first on the puck, trying to settle it down. Scoot comes in to help and dumps it back around the boards the other way. Steinke with good speed, able to get there in time. Prior Lake centers. Gets past Gillespie, but not Eddie. Eddie able to keep it in for Steinke. Steinke brings it to the center. Levine with a good stick. Offside, but they touch back up, and Skoog will re-enter the zone with Steinke. Skoog lost it. Center for Steinke. That one goes wide of the net and into the corner. 7:15 left in the first period. Almost kept in there by Levine. Icing is waved off. Kerner will have to leave that for Razinen. Razinen sends it all the way up to a waiting Laker. They're not able to make much happen as Steinke's fighting along the boards, not able to get it back out. Hits a fellow Laker. Took a shot, left the puck behind. Levine gets pressured from behind, and Lakers trying to get it away, but no dice. Levine gets a stick on it. Lakers take it behind the net, sends it to the corner. Now back to the top of the zone. Razinen had a stick on it. Lakers going to look to center out front and do. Kerner with a nice pad on it as Eddie gets the loose change, sends it up high. Glove caught down and settled by the number 33 netminder from the Lakers. Silgen applying pressure. And Lakers, a little too excited, entered the zone, just trying to jag that skate there, but offside is the whistle regardless. 6:13 left. In the first period, Wildcats with a 2 goose egg lead. Groutman pushed that forward. That one goes behind the net. Riley picks that up, trying to send it up for Siljan, who's able to help tap that in back to neutral ice. Lakers turn it over to Siljan. Siljan rushes in. He's got a shot coming, and goal! Aaron Siljan with a absolute bullet. Beats the goalie, lower blocker side, and unassisted Aaron Siljan. Wildcats find themselves in a much different predicament from, or situation from the last time we faced the Lakers. 3-0. Home ice is nice. Fantastic goal, Aaron Siljan. Little extracurricular activity between Groutman and number 24. Coincidental minors for what I can only assume will be called roughing. Slashing. Coincidental slashing minors. And that one goes into the obscurity of the junior varsity record, which no one knows where it lives. Somewhere behind Narnia's door. 5-on-5 play will commence. Don't know what the question is. I thought the ref was waiting for a clock, but neutral zone face-off. Almost got away with one there. But it is the right call, as it was the coincidentals, and possession had really not gotten into the zone yet. Urick forces the pass. Riley picks that up, stretches all the way down. That one not far enough for icing as Fire Lake takes it behind their own net. Fire Lake not able to escape. Beckwith almost got a stick on that. Up the boards. Kept in there by Riley with a low shot. Urick out front. Goes over to the side. Hits off the post. Lakers able to settle it down. Nice forecheck pressure again by Beckwith. Urick. Urick in the corner. Beckwith goes in to help out. Throws his shoulder. And the Lakers come away with it. Had to contend with a stick from Riley, but they were able to dim it deep into the zone. Riley, that might have been Schmidt with the stick. Back behind the net. Not able to get that to center. Cycle it back down behind the net. And now back up the boards for Schmidt. Schmidt steps around one. Gets it over to Riley. Settles it down. Drives the net. Got shot coming in. Goal! Liam Riley. Beautiful top shelf goal. Right where Grandma hides the cookies. 4:46 left in the first period. Wildcats find themselves on the positive side of a 4-0 game. Strong effort by their boys in white. Eddie, Skoog, Steinke, Gillespie, and Levine. D-to-D pass. Swing goes back for Levine. Sent up to Skoog. Steinke trying to regain possession there, able to pull it at the face-off dot. Back to Skoog, who almost had a shot attempt there. Lakers able to backhand that back out. Eddie was trying to lay a hip check in, got away right just wide. Levine will take that at the back of the net, send that all the way back up to the point. Skoog's able to get in the way, and that one goes all the way around. Icing waved off as the Lakers sent that the full length. Back to neutral ice, kept back in by Gillespie as they have a tussle at mid-ice. Levine at mid-ice sends it all the way in behind the zone, and he'll rush in to join the play. Steinke able to slow it down momentarily at the boards. Back out for Thomas. Thomas a little bit wide for Levine. Levine sends that cross back for Skoog. Skoog through neutral ice, trying to feed that up to Eddie. Gets deflected, and Levine the other direction, rushing up the boards. Runs into some pressure, and that one gets sent down all the way for an icing whistle. 3:26. Wildcats out shooting the Lakers 9-5.
Okay. I know it popped up.
This is fully charged. Unreal. Might have to make a quick device change in the intermission here. Had 100% battery before starting this, so Eagan Hockey Boosters, if you're watching, might be time for another investment in an iPad. Groutman fighting along the boards, has Strom coming in to help. On net, covered quickly by Kerner.
Or maybe replacing battery.
Back behind the net, Razinen to Siljan. Back down to Razinen. Razinen with a nice pass into the neutral zone. Siljan picks that up, rushes ahead. Centering opportunity there, kept in by Strom. Siljan trying to win the foot race behind the net. Provides pressure there, loses his stick. And that one goes back down to Thomas. Thomas thought about a D-to-D pass. Thought otherwise. That one gets sent into the skates of Eagan. Hard pass low for Siljan up to Beckwith. Lakers pull that back around. Shoved there by Lakers. Thomas goes to the ice, but he's back up. Trying to dig it away from the boards. Trying to get up to Schmidt. Beckwith. Schmidt, that one gets tipped back into the neutral zone. Cats will touch up. Razinen recovers. Razinen takes that in. Tried to leave that for Beckwith. He gets pushed into the boards. Schmidt behind the goal line. Urick finds one as well. Schmidt back to the point. Riley gets deflected off a skate. Back up the boards again. Riley keeps it in, tips it up for Schmidt. Schmidt, top of circle, shot coming up in the air, loose out front. Hit on Schmidt, could have been interference, but Beckwith gets that over to Razinen. 1:20 left in this first frame. Back up to Urick, not able to bat it out and regain control, and that one gets sent in, offside, now on. As the Lakers touched up, Razinen behind his own net, sends it over for Riley. Riley with a nice stretch and tip to Schmidt, but not quite far enough. Or not, Schmidt wasn't quite past the red line yet. 58.2 seconds left in this first period. Junior varsity game, Eagan versus Prior Lake. Tune over to Eagan Television on YouTube for the varsity game here at 3 p.m. Riley gets hauled down, no call. Skoog trying to pull that up the boards. Actually, there is a call. I missed the other ref. Tripping on Prior Lake will put the Cats back onto a power play, which they've had great success in so far this game. Back to the point, Riley to Skoog. Skoog back to Riley. Over to Gillespie. Gillespie lost the handle there for a minute, trying to pull out of the pit of doom. Riley tried to settle that down with his skate. Lost it there momentarily. Gillespie lost the handle. Prior Lake not able to fully get control there. That one will go back behind the net. Riley will set it up again. Evades pressure. And 19 seconds left. To mid-ice, and that one gets sent back down again. Gillespie up the boards, all the way down. Icing waved off. That one gets to the side of the net. And 6 seconds left in this first frame. Three seconds left, back up into neutral ice, but end of the period, Cats up 4-0. We will be right back. I'm gonna switch over devices and we'll rejoin you in one moment. Here's 3 o'clock, yeah. Back down, back up online. We'll be right back for the second period. Back on for second period action. Special shout out to the Schmidt family down in Florida for the college dance nationals. Sounds like girls are doing well. Starting second period here on the power play. Levine gets that up to Thomas, sends that across ice for Eddie, brings it in onside. Eddie leaves that for Steinke with a nice pass. Steinke shot almost tipped in there by Skoog, who just bobbled it. Thomas back to Skoog. Shot on goal, tipped aside and right into the leather with a nice glove save there at the side of the net. Shots 10-5. A power play unit. Levine, Steinke, Eddie, Thompson, Skoog. That one gets dropped down, taken behind the net. Lakers send it up the boards, kept in there by Levine. Levine to Thomas. Thomas across the ice, one-timer attempt there by Eddie. Didn't get a full stick on it. Levine leaves that for Eddie. Eddie takes it to the center, shot right into the breadbasket for the Lakers. 28 seconds left in one-man advantage. Shots 11-5. Puck back down, sent all the way down on net. Kerner had to get a paddle there, retrieved there by Riley. Riley surveying his options, skates it to the outside, sends it deep. Strom trying to retrieve, that one gets sent back up to the boards. And a wicked little rail ride there, Siljan defending. Great angle there taken by Kerner. Defense pushed to the outside. Hard low shot deflected again as Razanen sends it up to Riley. That one goes back to neutral ice. Prior Lake sends it on deep as instructed by their coach. Back behind the net, goes up the boards. Siljan gets in the way, trying to leave that for Riley. Prior Lake able to get it back out to that point. Back deep, 5-on-5 hockey commenced. Penalty coming on Prior Lake. Back to the box, not having a great time with penalties. Another power play opportunity here for Wildcats to work on their special teams. This shift, Beckwith, Urick, Schmidt, Thomas, and Gillespie. That one back up, wicked bounce off the boards, back to Beckwith. Schmidt leaves that for Beckwith. Beckwith trying to drag that ahead for himself. Goes off of a skate. Gillespie forces that pass all the way down the ice. Thomas trying to win that race and will. Thomas behind the net. 13 minutes left in the second frame here. Thomas, nice pass up to Beckwith, who takes it to the outside. That one gets dropped to the slot. Thomas over to Beckwith. Didn't have a full stick on it, but nice one-time opportunity. Beckwith back to the point for Thomas. Thomas shot through traffic. Goalie didn't quite see that one. Back behind the net for Beckwith. Settled down by Urick. Thomas to Urick. Urick to Thomas. That one gets knocked out. Neutral zone. Prior Lake comes up there. Loses the handle, so we'll have to pull it back to the corner. Got a man out front. Happy to take that back down as they regroup on this penalty kill. Sent all the way down. Thomas tried to get a glove on that. Icing waved off, of course. Back down for Gillespie. Gillespie has Skoog in the middle. Gillespie takes a shot high above the net. Levine at the point. Gets it over to Schmidt. Schmidt reverses back around. Takes the shot, goes into the netting. Another puck gone. You want to zoom or no?
Sure.
Puck to the top of the point for Riley. Riley for Stanky. Eddie. Back to Stanky. That one gets tipped into the glass and out. Riley behind his own net. Eddie. That gets loose. Riley able to tip it back up for Eddie. Eddie to trying to get to Levine. Lakers bring that back in to the center, lose the handle there. And Steinke will push his man to the boards, send that back for Eddie. Eddie sends that around for Riley. To the corner. Skoog brings that in with Steinke. That one gets sent high up into the glass. Back around for Steinke. Steinke pulls it to the center. Shot gets deflected. Eddie picks that back up, tries the center, goes through the crease. Lakers push that up the board. Stretch cross ice pass. Levine able to tip that back up for Steinke and Skoog. Skoog saw that he was offside, tried to drag a leg, but Riley able to cover and dump it deep. That one off the back of the boards behind the net, and Lakers come the other direction. Glove down there by Riley to Eddie, to Strom. Strom entering with Siljan. Strom not able to get there in time, goes into the corner. Fire Lake able to get away. That one gets sent back up. Nice keep in there by Riley. Riley enters the zone. Able to duck one check, still working on it in the corner. Strom comes out to help. Prior Lake sends that across for the Lakers. Back down, Levine will retrieve. 9:50 left in the second period. That one goes all the way up. Tipped in there. Groutman there. Trying to leave it for Strom. Groutman still fighting for it. Strom pulls it away. Gets taken over by Prior Lake. Pressure through neutral ice. Levine defending. Prior Lake way offside by a mile. Will get the whistle. Neutral zone face-off. 9:25 left in the first. Forwards change out there. Beckwith at center. Tips it ahead. And that one sent deep into the zone for Razinen to recover. Razinen sends that around the board, trying to find Schmidt. Finds him. Schmidt sidesteps one, gets it up to Urich. Urich able to tip that in as he gets sent down with a nice check into the boards. Back up. Have to go deep. Prior Lake takes it in front of their own net and through neutral ice. Gets around one, but not able to maintain full possession. Razinen comes in with a hit. Gillespie will go behind the net. Send that up the boards for Schmidt. Schmidt able to help tip it out. Gets it back up for Beckwith. 2-on-1. Feeds it over to Urich. Beckwith to go to the front of the net. Gets back. Should have stayed there. Nice pass to Urich right into the top of the crease. Prior Lake able to dump that back in. They'll go off for a change. That's picked up by Gillespie. I'm sorry, Thomas. On net. Goalie able to settle it down. Gets poked up for Thomas. Thomas trying to win that foot race. Lakers able to get their first, take it behind the net. Lakers send that back up to the point. Shot goes wide. Thomas settles it back down. That one goes all the way towards again for Schmidt. Schmidt with a pass into Gillespie is able to get it up and out. Back down. Schmidt got in the way. Schmidt trying to step around one. Gillespie picks up the loose change and able to send it right to the blue line. Kept out by the Lakers. They take it into their own zone. Dump it down for Thomas. Icing will be waved off here. Thomas sends that all the way around for Schmidt, who's all alone. Schmidt leaves that for Beckwith. Beckwith enters with Skoog. Beckwith looking for a centering opportunity. Still takes it around back to Skoog, just past his stick. Lakers the other direction. Levine defending with Riley out front. Drop pass there, not able to get a shot off. That shot goes wide. Levine will take that. He's got room to skate. He kicks to the outside, back to the center, and leaves it for Steinke. Steinke enters with Skoog and Beckwith. Steinke shot on goal. Low on hard. Pad into the side. Skoog not able to get there in time as the Lakers come back the other direction. Shots 15-7 in favor of the Cats. Back down to the skates. Steinke tried to get that up to Skoog. Eddie misses on his attempt. Back down for Levine. Levine pushes his man to the boards, leaves that for Eddie. Eddie to Riley. Riley to Skoog. Skoog almost had a chance there across for Steinke, and Kerner elects to cover. Frees the puck back up. Puck's back down, loose in the start. Levine sends it to Riley. Nice stretch opportunity. There's Siljan as Prior Lake brings it back in. Nice stick there by Levine. Prior Lake looking for a center. Levine down low to try to oppose or throw a block on back to the top of the slot for Prior Lake. Not able to get a shot off. Dragged back into the corner and back towards the top of the zone. Back down. Prior Lake has it in the defensive end. Send it on, kept in there by Groutman. Groutman pulls it to the side. He's got Siljan there to help out. Siljan almost found Riley there. Riley trying to step up, keep it in. Prior Lake the other way, bumped off by Siljan. Siljan helps keep it in the offensive zone. Send across, Prior Lake trying to come out through neutral. Shot low. Save, Kerner drops into his glove. .524 left in this second period. Beckwith. Prior Lake shot sails high above the net. Schmidt trying to find Beckwith there. Behind the net is Gillespie. Kept in there by Prior Lake, not able to get a shot off. Poked away by Schmidt. Schmidt, 2-on-2 opportunity coming in here with Urick. Schmidt able to get around one with some pressure. Up the board, settled down by Beckwith, who sends it into the corner for Urick. Urick tried to come away with that. Schmidt comes in for the loose change. Schmidt, nice move to evade pressure. Back up, not kept in. Goes past the stick of Gillespie. Gillespie will pick it up, send it for Razinen. Razinen back to Gillespie. Gillespie has it in the slot, turns away from pressure, and then backhands it up to Urick. Urick sends it into the zone, back out into neutral. Razinen able to get it back deep. 4:28 left. Razinen joining the rush. That one gets sent back up the boards, and now Schmidt will defend. Over the board, Gillespie makes one man lose the puck. Skoog looking like he was going to go behind the net, sends it off of a skate. Prior Lake able to keep it in, but tipped out there by Skoog. Skoog keeping with forward pressure. Lakers recover at mid-ice and send it in onside. Drop pass in, shot and goal. Nice pass across. Gets the Lakers on the board. And cuts the Wildcats lead to 3. Levine, Thomas, Steinke, Eddie, Skoog. Thomas sends that across to Eddie. Eddie to Levine. Levine takes that, sends it all the way down. Icing is the call. .342 left in the second period. After this period, we will have an ice clear. Back to the boards. Levine sends it all the way around for Stanky. Stanky working to get that one out. Help of Thomas back behind the net for Levine. Levine settles it. Gets it Stanky. Stanky's able to tip it up and out. Sent back in. Lakers have to touch back up, and Levine gets it up to Stanky. Stanky trying to step around one and does. Dumps it deep into the zone and rushes to recover. That one all the way around the boards for Levine. Levine sends across to Stanky. Nice opportunity tied up. Levine, top of the circle, shot on goal, goes high and wide. Settled down there by Skoog. Skoog at the point, sends it across. That one's deflected, and Skoog will go and retrieve. Skoog trying to win that foot rest. Prior Lake not able to get a shot off, tipped into the corner by Skoog. Prior Lake trying to get that back up to the point. Ref gets in the way. Skoog the other way. Eddie sends one to the ice. No call. Skoog shot on net, deflected aside, and Prior Lake the other direction. Trying to hit an open stretch pass, but left for Thomas. Skoog gets onside. Thomas leaves it for Eddie. Eddie shot off the bar and out. Wicked shot by Eddie. Almost made that one 5-1. After a scary odd man opportunity the other direction. Groutman's at the draw. Siljan trying to get placed right behind him. Into the corner. Sent on net. Picked up again by Groutman. Not on net, but certainly the side. Groutman able to send that back into the slot. Almost had a recovery there. Onside, Strom. Shot and goal for Teddy Strom. Number 25, 5-1. Picked the corner, got it upstairs. Varsity boys got a front row seat. Nice goal, Teddy Strom. Wholesale line change for the Cats. 2 minutes, just over 2 minutes left in the second period. Gillespie, Levine, Schmidt, Beckwith, and Urich. Puck's down, push ahead. Beckwith applying pressure. Puck goes back in, onside. Gillespie defending, sends his man behind the net. Back up to the point. Recovered by Levine. Levine sends that across for Gillespie. Dangerous pass, but recovered. Tipped up. Gillespie settles it down. Leaves it for Levine. Levine back to Gillespie. Goes past his stick, almost lost an edge. Centering opportunity, Levine got back in time. Beckwith tips it ahead. Back to neutral for the Lakers. Back for Levine. Levine sends it for Gillespie. Gillespie, Levine turns away, sends it up the boards for Urich, who tips it in. Urich bumped off the puck, no call. Kept in there by Beckwith, sends it behind, deep into the zone. Schmidt trying to get first on it for the Cats. That one all the way around, kept in by Skoog, sends it on net, tipped into the glass, and that one's going to be sent down, which can only be described as a frustration icing on Prior Lake's side. Kerner sends that one down for the icing infraction. And we will be just under 1 minute here in the second period. Eddie at the draw. Eddie gets booted from the faceoff dot. Stanky goes in. Stanky wins that draw to Thomas. Thomas to Skoog, shot on net low, kick to the side. Skoog still working. Back for Eddie. Eddie shot. Weird little deflection there, goes up into the glass. Prior Lake not able to get it out. Eddie still applying pressure. That one does get out to the neutral zone. Stanky tipped ahead by Riley. Stanky will send that across to Thomas. 30 seconds left. Stretch tipped and all the way down for another icing whistle for the benefit of the prior Lakers. Puck back down. Stanky was trying to dig that away. That one gets kept in there by the Lakers. Back to the point. Shot gets deflected back into the corner. Riley sends that on the glass and up. Eddie trying to recover there. Skoog almost had an opportunity to recover there. Sent across, onside there. Thomas, 1 second left, sends it up. And that'll be your second period. Ice clear coming up, and we'll rejoin you for the thrilling conclusion, third period after no messages. Thank you. back for third period action. Cats lead 5-1. Shots 16-10 in favor of the Wildcats. Third period. Beckwith, Urick, Schmidt. Back down for Levine. Levine sends it to Razinen. Razinen to Urick. Levine defending, able to push that puck into the corner. Trying to kick that out. Beckwith comes in to help. Razinen goes to the front of the net. Levine able to get that out. Tried to get taken down. No dice. Up to Schmidt. Schmidt with a reach. Back to the slot there. Over for Kerner, who's able to get a stick on it. Chipped back up to the top. Taken down by Urick. Urick takes it to the outside. Center for Schmidt. Schmidt tried to roof that upstairs. Hits the netting instead. Nice play there by Wildcats. Another shot on, not a shot on goal, too high. Gillespie, Eddie, Scoo, Thomas, and Steinke on the ice. Steinke taking the, that's Eddie taking the draw. Steinke behind the net to retrieve. That one goes up the boards. Sent back into neutral ice. Thomas able to pick it up. Takes it away right in front of the crease. Sells it down and leaves it for Scoot. Goes past Scoot back into neutral ice. Tipped in there, offside, now back on as the Lakers touch up. Scoot through center ice. Tried to feed Steinke a little too far out of his reach. Back down around the board. Steinke able to get that one back out. Scoot tried to retrieve, not able to. Fed in, kept almost out. Centering opportunity there. Stopped by Eric Kerner. With a lot of pressure in front of the net. 13:27 left. Siljan wins that back to Riley. That one almost is going towards the crease, but Siljan will pick that up in the corner, send it up the boards. High bouncing puck covered by Kerner. Kerner has Zeal's eyes on today. Shots almost back to even, 16-15 in favor of Cats still. That one goes all the way down the ice. It's going to be another icing whistle. Siljan at the draw, pushes that to the boards. Trying to get to Riley. Groutman gets in the way. That one, top of the circles. Groutman almost had that one back out. Riley pushes his man to the boards. Razinen parks out front. Riley able to get it up to Strom. Back down, onside, tipped in. Razinen settles that down. Sends it across. Siljan with a nice feed. Shot goes wide of the net. Dumped in deep. All the way around. Gottman settles it at the red line. Leaves it for Razinen. Razinen sends it back to the boards for himself. And looking for an outlet, sends it up to Riley. Riley leaves that there, center ice. Lakers bring that back in. Razinen settles it down, leaves it for Riley again. Riley rushing up the ice, bothered from behind, sends it across. Riley takes it in himself. Shot on net goes wide, sent all the way around for Urick, who dumps it back into the corner. Riley had his stick ungracefully removed, some might call taken. Levine has that, takes it back up to Riley at mid-ice. Riley trying to settle down, gets help from Schmidt. Schmidt to Levine. Levine to Gillespie. Gillespie sends it to Urick, who leaves it for Schmidt. Schmidt, drop pass to Urick. Urick trying to center that across, runs some pressure, sends that back behind for Beckwith. Lakers take it back behind the red line. Urick applying pressure. Lakers find a stretch pass opportunity and pull it to the center. Levine with a nice stick to get it out of the harm's way. Gillespie pressuring behind the net. Up to the top of circles. Urick gets it over to Schmidt. Levine rushing. Schmidt tried to lay his shoulder there, and Skoog not able to keep it in. Nice rush attempt there. Schmidt decides to leave it alone wisely. Rents the onside, touches back up. That one goes back to the boards on net for Kerner. Kerner sends up for Gillespie. Gillespie drops that for Eddie. Eddie and Skoog and Sankey entered on briefly for a 3-on-2. Centering opportunity goes through. Skoog not able to receive that pass. That one goes up and off the glass, back all the way down. Rolling puck, icing against the Lakers. 10:24 left in the third period. Cats still up by 4. Shots on goal, pretty even, 17-16. Back to the point for Levine. Levine steps up, settles it down, able to get it to the corner. Skoog lost an edge. Puck gets turned over for the Lakers as they take it to the center. Dump it deep. Kerner able to bat it to the corner. Levine helps out. Leaves that for Eddie. Eddie trying to get that up to Skoog. Gets Steinke. Steinke not able to get there. Stuck in the skates of Eddie. Levine steps up. Gets it out to the point, right on net, and save Kerner. 9:45 left in the third period. Wholesale line change for the Cats. Looks like almost for the Lakers as well. That one's back down to the point. Shot low and hard. Easily saved there by pads of Eric Kerner. Thomas back for Riley. Riley takes that back behind his own net and sends up the boards to Strom. Strom tips that ahead. Past Groutman, no ice. Siljan chases into the corner, got Strom out front. Both players kind of skate past it. Prior Lake able to dig it away and get it back to the sideboards. Riley keeps it in at the point, sends it into the corner. Siljan deep behind the red line. Sent back up the boards. Riley again with the keep in. Riley trying to make space for himself, sends it deep behind. Strom. A nice forecheck into the corner. Groutman comes in to help out. Back to the boards. Groutman pushes his man into the bench. Just trying to help out with a change. Thomas brings it in onside. Pulls it to the center. That one gets deflected into the corner. Siljan slows his man down. That one stretch pass recovered there by Thomas. Brings it back in offside. Siljan not yet had the chance to get back onside. Levine, Razanen back on for Thomas and Riley. Beckwith, Urick, Schmidt out front. Puck down. Taken by Lakers. Levine tried to hit Beckwith there. After retreat, Razanen able to get a stick on it, sends it to the board. Shot on net, gets deflected up and off into the glass. Levine picks it up. Tried to reach Urick there, but out of reach. 7:58 left on an errant stretch pass opportunity back to the defensive end for the Wildcats. Schmidt steps up, takes it to the outside, sends it on deep. Back behind the net of the Lakers. Nice hip check there by Beckwith as Urick applies pressure. Backhand pass up and dump deep into the zone. Kerner leaves it behind his own net, has a bobble, but able to get recovered there by the Cats. Pass up to Urick. Urick enters the zone with Schmidt. Urick keeps it to the outside. Drops it for Schmidt. Schmidt waits for reinforcement. Sends it all the way across to Eddie. Eddie's shot goes high and wide. Settled down there by Schmidt. Gillespie and Levine at the point. Back out to Levine. Levine walking the line. Shot on goal. Almost rebounded there by Schmidt. Schmidt loses the handle. Lakers able to... That one back down for Eddie. Gillespie not able to keep that in. That one will be recovered by Levine. Levine needs to turn and burn. Levine will take it to the center. Dropping through, trying to make space for herself. Almost got around one. One sent back to the board. Skoog. And Eddie tried to get a stick on it. The Lakers pull it to the center. Deflected there by Skoog. That one back to the boards as well for Stanky. And Skoog. Top of the circles. Shot on goal. Paddle to the side by Kerner. That one another. Got deflected wide. Gillespie brings that up. Down. Mid-ice. Skoog. That one gets sent into the chest of Riley. Riley picks up again. Sends it in onside. Skoog not able to get. Eddie pushes his man off the puck. Stanky. And Eddie's going to go to the box for roughing. Hardly.
Nice and slippery.
Not too controversial, maybe weak, but it's okay. Cats been pretty disciplined this game. Not a lot of penalty minutes. Groutman leaves that for Thomas. Thomas able to get that into boards, but not out. Back to the top of the slot. Shot on net, easily covered by Kerner. TK with some instructions here on this PK. Gillespie up the boards, not able to tip that up. That one goes back for Thomas. Thomas escapes pressure, sends that up the glass. Nice clear by Thomas. Back down for Siljan, trying to make something on a shorthand opportunity here. Loose at the red line. Gillespie leaves it for the Lakers. Lakers D-to-D pass there at the blue line. And they'll skate it in, looking for a drop to the point. Thomas bothered from behind, not able to recover, but now he does. That one across behind the net. Thomas. Strom. Pressure in the corner. That one goes up the boards, back to the point for the Lakers. Lakers. Shot on net, gets deflected into their own player, and Thomas takes a whack at it, sends it all the way down. With 50 seconds left here in the penalty kill. Back down. Beckwith going to be called for a trip there. Levine not able to slot it away. Nice save by Levine, and that will be a trip on the Wildcats. 29 seconds. Beckwith to the box for a 5-on-3 penalty kill for the Cats. Levine, Skoog, and Levine, Skoog, and Riley. Let's try this again. Levine taken off the ice. It's going to be Gillespie, Skoog, and Riley. That one gets back into neutral ice, burns off a couple precious seconds. Skoog takes that away, sends it up the boards. Back to center ice for the Lakers. 9 seconds left in the 5-on-3. Shot right into the breadbasket. Save Kerner, 4 seconds left.
Good job, Eagan! Way to go, Eagan!
Back down to the point for the Lakers. Able to keep it in, top of the circles. Shot on goal. Goes wide. Eddie able to get a stick on it. Pull it to the center. He has pressure from the line. He's hauled down. And penalty the other way negates any power play opportunity that the Lakers had left. Not smart. But we appreciate it. So back to 4-on-4 hockey for a minute 20. Then we'll have 40 seconds of a power play to bury the biscuit. Eddie at the draw. 3:40 left. Eddie back to the boards, behind the net. Up to the point, kept in there by Riley. Riley leaves it for himself. Sends that across for Uric. Uric has his stick held. Uric applied pressure there, tried to get forward. Eddie, Uric. Lakers bring that in onside, get through one. Eddie with a nice check behind. And into the boards, not a nice check. They're going to call that on Eddie. One looks like we might have a 5-minute major. Essentially boarding. 5-minute major indeed for boarding for Eddie. Groutman will go and serve. Maybe it's a 5-and-10, I don't know. 5-on-3. Opportunity again for the Lakers. 3 minutes left. Shot. Save, Kerner. 5-and-10 is the call. With the game misconduct. Not game misconduct, just misconduct. Back up to the point. Top of the circle shot. Sent up into the glass. Nice save by Kerner. 30 seconds left in the 5-on-3. I'm sorry, 5-on-4, as the Lakers also have one in the box. Lakers keep that to the outside. Top of the slot. Fed through, still loose out front. Glove frozen by Kerner.
Number 8.
2:28 left in the third. Levine, Gillespie, Skoog on the ice as your penalty killing unit. 8 seconds left. We will get one back. Skoog. That's sent to the boards, loose out in front for Gillespie. Gillespie has that and sends it all the way down. Kill off some more time. That one goes back, tipped in the corner. Skoog applying pressure, able to force a pass, send it behind the net as well. That one up the boards, Levine defending. That one sent to the slot, sticked away there towards Kerner keeps that away. Steinke's able to get that up. Wildcats, one man back. 4-on-4 hockey resumes. Sticked away there by Gillespie. Back down. Shot and goal for the Lakers. Pulled it to the side around Levine and Kerner. Score 5-2. Even strength goal. Lakers get one more back, and then they will be on a power play for the remainder of the game. Back down. Thomas to Riley. Riley sends that all the way down as the Lakers just began their power play. Strom keeping up. Schmidt gets a stick briefly on it. Strom bumped off the puck. Sent back up to the point for the Lakers. Get around one. Shot gets blocked there by Thomas. To the point. Riley trying to get in the way. That one deflected back behind the net. Shot up high, blocked down. 54 seconds left in the game. Nice check there by Riley, pushes a man down. Schmidt looking for a block. That one gets sent to the top of the circles. Shot high into the netting. 42 seconds left in the game. Gillespie, Urick, Razanen, and Siljan penalty kill unit. Siljan sends that back to the point. Prior Lake sends it to the boards. Cross ice to the top of the circle. Shot gets deflected into the nettings again. 33.7 seconds left. Cats being outshot 24-19. Drop down, Razanen. Siljan able to clear. That one goes all the way down the length of the ice. 28 seconds left. The Lakers pick it up. Send it back up through neutral. Bring it in onside. Slow it down at the top of the circles, back to the point and back out. 15 seconds left. That might just about do it. As they take it back out to the sideboards. All the way down. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And that is a win for your Wildcats. 5-2. Appreciate you joining us, as always. Head on over to Eagan TV for the varsity matchup and enjoy the rest of your weekend.